All right, let's just jump right into it. The world of AI investing right now is completely split. You've got one camp screaming that this is just the dot-com bubble all over again, a massive crash waiting to happen. And then you've got the other camp insisting, no, this is the real deal, a revolution as big as the industrial age. So today we're going to dig into both sides and figure out what is really going on.
And really, it all comes down to this one single question, doesn't it? This is the high-stakes question every single investor is asking themselves. If you jump into AI right now, are you going to get rich? Or are you going to get burned? To get to the bottom of this, we got to follow the money. And the numbers are staggering. In 2024 alone, big tech shoveled over $100 billion into AI. Just think about that for a second. That's for data centers, for training new models, for cloud infrastructure, you name it. $100 billion in just 1 year. But this is where things start to get kind of wild. The total value, the market cap of all these AI-related companies, it's ballooned to an unbelievable $12 trillion. So the investment is huge, sure, but the valuation the market is giving these companies is on a whole other level.
And this slide right here, this shows the massive disconnect perfectly. You've got a market value of $12 trillion being held up by $13 to $20 billion in actual real revenue. I mean, do the math. We're valuing these companies at hundreds of times what they actually sell. So you have to ask yourself, what's really holding this all up? Is it solid ground or just a bunch of hot air?
Okay, so that huge gap, that's the perfect jumping off point for the pessimists. You have publications like Barron's raising a red flag, basically saying, hey, wait a minute, haven't we seen this movie before back in 1999? Let's break down their argument.
The whole case for this being a bubble really comes down to four main worries. First, this classic growth without profit trap. Second, hardware that gets outdated the second you buy it. Third, just the tough economic climate we're in right now. And finally, the fact that the market itself just seems incredibly fragile, like it's priced for perfection.
So let's dig into that first one, the growth without profit trap. This feels like a total flashback to the dot-com days, right? Remember companies like Pets.com, worth a fortune with basically zero sales. Well, today you have these brilliant AI companies promising to cure diseases or reinvent industries, but their actual plan to make money might be 5, maybe even 10 years down the road. The problem is, investors are paying for that far-off dream today.
And then there's the hardware problem. The leaky bucket analogy is just perfect. Imagine you're a company and you drop hundreds of millions on the latest, greatest NVIDIA chips, and boom, 6 months later, a new chip comes out that's twice as fast. Everything you just bought is already old news. You're caught in this crazy expensive cycle of just trying to keep up.
Now, this right here might be the pessimist's knockout punch. The market right now is betting on a perfect future. No mistakes, no surprises. But what happens when something, anything, goes wrong? A new regulation, a power shortage, a hiccup in the supply chain. The argument is that investors won't just slowly sell off. They'll stampede for the exits. The fear isn't a small dip, it's a full-on collapse.
All right, so that's a pretty scary picture. But don't panic just yet, because you've got the other camp, the optimists. Folks at McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, and their whole argument is basically, yeah, we hear you, but you're missing the biggest point. This time, it really is different.
And what is that point? It's simple. The tech actually works. This isn't like some past bubbles that were built on pure hype into prayer. The AI we have today, it's real. It's doing things. It's creating tangible value in the world, right now.
And look, this isn't just a feeling. We've got the data to back it up. Companies using AI are seeing, on average, a 15 to 20% jump in productivity. Think about call centers, getting things done 30% faster. Or designers, getting a first draft done in literally half the time. This is technology that's saving companies real time and real money today. So the optimists say this is a real revolution. And here's why. It's built on real stuff, physical hardware. Companies are already making good money from it. Its key ingredient, computing power, is like the new oil. And maybe the biggest thing? We're just getting started.
Think back to that dot-com crash again. A lot of those companies had a cool website, and that was about it. A click on a web page didn't always mean cash in the bank. But AI is totally different. You need stuff, real, physical things. You need chips, giant data centers, power grids, cooling systems. And the companies making all that stuff, they are already wildly profitable.
And this leads to this really powerful idea. Computing power is the new oil. It's the electricity of the 21st century. Nothing in this new AI world works without it, and demand is just going through the roof. So the companies that supply it, the chip makers, the power companies, the cooling tech firms, they're in a fantastic spot because they get paid no matter which specific AI app wins in the end.
Okay, so let's take a breath. We've got two completely different stories. On one hand, a terrifying bubble just waiting to pop. On the other, a once-in-a-generation revolution. So what's the real answer? Who's right?
Well, here's the twist. The real answer is they're both right. This isn't an either-or thing. What we're actually seeing is something really strange. A massive, kind of scary bubble is forming around a very real, world-changing revolution.
And I mean it. The bubble part is totally real. You can't ignore the crazy valuations, the companies with no clear path to profit, and yeah, a market that's vulnerable. But at the exact same time, the revolution is also real. The productivity gains are proven, the physical infrastructure is being built, and the big players are already cashing in. Both things are true at once.
Understanding that both things are true is the absolute key. It's not about picking a side, it's about knowing the game. So if you're still asking that first question, how do I invest without getting crushed? What do you actually do? Well, let's break down 3 strategies to navigate this.
It really comes down to 3 things. Number 1, brace for a bumpy ride. There's going to be volatility. Number 2, invest in the picks and shovels of this whole thing. And number 3, stick with the companies that are already making actual money. Let's unpack that picks and shovels idea, because it's so important. Think of this whole AI boom like the old gold rush. You could gamble on one prospector striking it rich, which is super risky. Or you could be the smart one selling the picks and shovels to everyone. In the AI world, the picks and shovels are the NVIDIA chips, the data centers, the power grids, all the essential stuff. They win no matter who finds the gold.
And that last point, focus on companies that have cash. So many startups are basically living on borrowed time, always needing more money from investors just to keep the lights on. But then you look at giants like Microsoft or Google, they're bankrolling their entire AI operation with the mountains of cash they already make from their other businesses. When the market gets shaky, that kind of stability is everything.
So let's circle all the way back to where we started. After looking at the bubble and the revolution, what's the final verdict on that big question?
The truth is, it's completely up to how you play it. You can absolutely lose your shirt chasing hype and betting on companies with no profits. But you could also do incredibly well by being smart about it, by investing in the foundational infrastructure and the profitable giants building this new world. So yeah, there's a bubble, but it's a bubble forming around a genuine revolution. What's needed now isn't blind optimism or running away in fear. It's about understanding the lay of the land and investing wisely.